Got nothing to lose. What's up?
I think we're good.
Time thing on in game.
I think we're already there.
I don't know if it's I can do it from my end, but I believe they can hear us now. Hopefully, maybe. If they can't hear us, now they should be able to hear us. Oh, I gotta open the scoreboard. I forgot about this. I gotta do /spectate. I gotta remember how to run this thing. Spectate.
Well, they could definitely hear us. I can tell you that.
Let's go.
I can tell you that they can hear us. So we are live, as far as we know. We're live. We've made it. We've called up the IT department. At one point, we had the HR department in
There
here,
we go.
but I think things have been resolved. So, if that's the case,
I think we're good.
is that safe to say, Coach T?
I think we're safe to go. I think we're good to go.
Okay. So patience is a virtue. I feel like I should also mention that. And much thanks to all the players and everybody who stuck around and waited for all of this to play out. And fortunately, it looks like, as far as I know, I don't want to jinx it, we've been able to make it here. So, Coach T, I'm excited, man. This has been a long time coming. How are you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling great. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned again. Like, it's been one of those nights, man. I appreciate you guys, sticking with us for this. Again, welcome back to Targon, the Targon Rumble Stage Round 4. One of these teams will make it to this to the quarters, and one of them won't. So
that's pretty much how we're looking. And right off the start, we could see a lot of trading come in. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to talk too much about the draft, but the control mage is something I definitely expected to see a lot more. The Camille was something as well. So a couple champions here already being picked off, but we see a lot of proud being established here. This double range bot lane, you can see the poke really coming through here as they play for this level 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, across the map, just basics. Oh, what an engage to start it off here. Patty's going to go in on Galactus. Galactus is going to flash out. Can he get out? No, he doesn't. That's first blood already. Wow. What an intense first couple minutes. And Mordekaiser are on the other end of things, too. Gumayushi going to be stunned. Can he get away? Yes, he's going to walk. I would walk. I mean, that's a dangerous situation to leave yourself in.
You wait 40 minutes just to get first blooded at 2.5.
That is a rough one for him. But what a crazy engage. Way to know right on the level 2 mark for Rel to go in, catching out the Lulu. What a play from Iceborn.
Yeah, now crucially too at that point, right? When the summoners are burned on the enchanter, Lulu becomes a lot more vulnerable in this lane state here. So with that Hex Flash being available on Rel, repeat ganks could very well come through. Unfortunately for them, both junglers have opted a path towards this top side here, and you can see Anchovy starting to play off a bit of this top prow that he has, but Hyper Dragon doesn't mind fighting.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to give his all and force out the stun from Sejuani there. Nice spot. Speaking of, nice stun there from Syndra. Nice it locks in Orianna to this mid lane, keeps him from roaming up, and play can continue, which is really, really nice.
That's right. It looks like by default here now Zen is going to be able to nab up the Scuttle Crab, so Sejuani just clearing towards her top side here. Probably going to take that reset, start to play down towards that bot side once again. Again, obviously that Lulu Flash being burned is a huge vantage point here for the side of Red, so we'll have to see if they're able to do anything with that right now, and some good trading coming in here. Another invade.
Yep. Yeah. All across the board, just so much trading. Oh my god, it's a fest. Hyper Dragon now going to be forced to go in. He does trade one. Rel is here now though. With Anchovy so low, I'm not sure what Patty's doing, but
we do see Camille. Okay, Camille was starting to move, but I think optimally so she chooses to back off in this instance. Does have that wave that she will have to contend with, and once again, yeah, we see the Sejuani evade originally. Not much is able to be gathered up from that topside prow that she did have there, but the counter invade coming in through from the Zen nets that first blood, and I guess not first blood in this instance right here, but things are looking pretty good here for the side of that Zen right now.
Right.
It looks like double crab being able to be grabbed too, and holy moly, Coach T.
Holy Mordekaiser almost taking down Camille, forces out the flash. But Camille is able to get back to safety and is able to stay under her tower now and farm these minions. But yeah, that was really close there.
Yeah, that was 100%. If that flash wasn't burned, I'm thinking more than likely that that's going to be another kill. And a matchup like that's very snowbally, so that first kill can make that much more of a difference. So in this instance, she's going to be able to be okay. Does have that TP if she so chooses to want to burn that there. Her wave is slow pushing into the enemy, so she will need to play a little bit careful with this flash timer here. does need to be a little respectful, but as we can see, both junglers now kind of pivoted. Now they're both towards the spot side right now, and heavy trading coming in once again.
Yeah, when it comes to when it comes to looking for this dragon, and first dragon's a pretty important one. Typically, you see in a matchup, people are looking for either the dragon or the first 3 grubs, and that infernal dragon can be nice for both of these teams. I really like it. That extra boost of damage for Jinx would be really, really nice, but I don't know. We'll see who gets it. But just trading all across the map as Sejuani heads down bot lane. Nice stun there, could lock Kumushi into this lane, but he is able to get to his tower in a way. Now, Stun's going to look for something here. Death Realm's popped in the top lane, and just nothing Camille could do. Wow.
Yeah, things are now starting to get really scary for topside here. Camille fortunately dodges the first death, but the second one is going to come through anyways. At this point, at the very least, we are able to get some pressure towards the bot side, so the cross map is happening. We talked a little bit about it before. I agree. I think both teams here are going to want these dragons. Dragons tend to be extremely good for team fighting team comps, and if you look at the comps of both of these teams, that right there is pretty evident. But equally so, we're going to see those void grubs being taken from the Xin there. Still does have his blue buff to be able to clear, and a couple camps in the enemy topside quadrant if he so chooses to want to play for as well. So good cross mapping coming from both sides here, but you can start to see a bit of that gold lead starting to amount there for the side of blue.
Yes, Stun Gaming getting themselves almost 1,000 gold up, but just underneath it. And it kind of, it's sad to see it, because I mean, such a great start from Iceborn, starting on top with a nice, beautiful first blood play for level 2 bot lane, but it seems like Stun Gaming is able to claw back a little bit and even out the score.
Yeah, they've been able to do that, especially mainly through their jungle and through their top at this point. So I think to see them starting to try to accelerate this lead that much more, you can see the damage already coming through, and this is just a massive disadvantage. That wave state is completely screwed for CG2 as well. So yeah, I don't know what he does. Fortunately, he does have a pocket boar, so Sejuani is going to head up towards that top side, but I'd be careful. I think that Mordekaiser at this state right now can probably 1v2 you.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw how strong he is already. And, once that passive procs and he's got that giant negative energy field, man, there's just so much that can happen. I mean, look at all the AoE going on here. Nice stun from Anchovy, but again, it's just the call to back off. Rather live with your lives than die trying, am I right?
The good news is they dealt with that wave. It's now neutral, so Camille can actually play a bit more passively here, just kind of wait for this wave to slowly come back to her, so she's not going to get zoned off of anything at that point. And those are one of the best ganks that you can pull off as a jungler. It doesn't look fancy, and it isn't fancy. That's a beautiful shockwave coming just for a nice chunk. Yeah, but it is still going to alleviate all that pressure from that top side, and now look at Camille can start to sort of breathe once again.
Yeah. Oh, she's going to go in. Orianna flashes in, but doesn't look like she gets anything out of it. But interesting. Chooses the flash in. Xin Zhao was there, but they don't really get anything out of it. It looks like Orianna just kind of burned flash for nothing.
Syndra did burn too. That's right. Yeah.
So. Okay.
Yeah, and there's another vantage point too. Obviously, when you have a champion like this and like the Sejuani, you want to try to snowball as much as you can early on, because you're not going to be the one who's doing all of that damage. Now, obviously, Zen does a bit more than Sejuani, but you both really are bridge champions, so you want to accelerate the carries on your team. And just like this, as we see right here, the beautiful chain CC, and that's going to net a kill for Humphreys. That's awesome. It's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, again, and really well executed. Very fast execution at that too. So they're going to push it on her tower, possibly look for a dive, but Lulu, aware of this, is going to back off immediately and prevent herself from dying. But again, Sejuani just seems like she's in the right spot in the right time always so far this game.
That's right, and that's really off that back of that repeat gank. The original one did it on burning out the flash from the Jinx there, and something we didn't get a chance to talk about was summoner spells themselves. And we see the barrier coming down on the side of Gumayushi there, not the cleanse. So the cleanse, obviously, in that instance, probably going to save you, but the barrier tends to be a lot better for the lane. So you can see that Iceborn's doing a good job of being able to pick up on that summoner disadvantage, and they're playing well to it.
Absolutely. See, Anchovy is now taking his blue buff there, looking towards. Well, this looks like he's just farming. No objectives anytime soon. It doesn't look like. About a minute and a half out of Dragon. So I wonder how that'll work out.
Gumayushi's. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, typically teams look for that initial back before dragon, about a minute and a half before dragon spawns, just so they can have that pressure and have fresh health and fresh items. So, and Kaisa getting the static shift. Wow, I feel like that's really early.
That's a very early static shift. Now you're probably going to have perma prow in this lane too. I couldn't imagine you not. And if that's the case, then you can start to send your rel, which is what we're seeing right now, to other lanes here. And at this point right now, it looks like these void grubs, the second ones, are going to be the ones who are being contested here. Possibly, as we actually don't see the side of Iceborn moving too much towards that right now. It looks like they want to, but they're being held off in this choke right now. And Psych Chimps on this Oriana is doing a good job at this point. If they're able to funnel through this choke here and get River set up, the fight can look a lot better for them.
Yeah, I don't think they're aware of Xin Zhao taking the grubs, actually. But now that it seems that even if they were, it looks like maybe the call is to go towards Dragon here.
And I like this a lot more. I like this because at this point now you're playing to your own tempo. You're not trying to fight the team in a spot where you don't have vision. And in this case right now, you're already playing to your strong side. You can start setting up for this dragon, which just so happens to be the second one for you. So map state's much better here. But even still, we're going to see a fight. Beautiful shockwave.
Yeah, really well placed. The Sejuani ultimate going to go a little bit wide, and Sej is now going to be forced to back off as Syndra goes down. Jinx now kind of ready to collapse if necessary. They may try to they opt out of it. They decide against it. I think that could have worked in their favor if they stuck with it. Patty now on the other side of things as we get teleported up top there, I guess, to look at Camille. What is happening?
Oh.
I was like, ooh. Kaisa ultimate onto Gumayushi. Gumayushi could be going down, flashes out, and he's able to get to safety, but at the cost of his flash. Teleport's coming down now from Syndra. Magnetic Storm going to be dropped. Patty's going to lock him in. Nice stun, followed up by lots of damage as Xin Zhao now pays the price with his life. And Iceborn now has control of the Dragon Pit.
That's right. And maybe it's a bit of indecisiveness. Maybe it's just not getting the mid or the bot waves pushed out. But at the end of the day, even off that pick on that Syndra, we're not able to grab that dragon. So now we can see Iceborn just doing a good job prepping up for this right now. And it looks like it's really their dragon to lose. Mid prow too. Once this wave is pushed in from the Syndra, she should be able to rotate and net themselves a second drag.
Absolutely. And that's going to put them 2 dragons up on Stun Gaming here. And I wonder what the soul will be. I bet it's going to be like a wind soul or something. A cloud soul.
Cloud soul wouldn't be too bad.
It's actually ocean soul.
It is.
Okay, in combat healing. Pretty decent soul. I think ocean map is my favorite map in all the rifts. But I don't know. Interesting soul.
It definitely is. And I don't know really how impactful this soul is going to be. I mean, Ocean Soul's good, don't get me wrong. I would never make the argument that it's not, but I feel like there's definitely some souls that have a bit more value. So at the end of the day, they'll be happy to take this. The Shockwave coming through again, and a Flash as well. Once again being burned there. That's just Flash for Flash. That's not even Flash for Flash. That's just a free Flash being burned. Look at this damage.
Exactly. No, I can't get over, Mordekaiser. She dropped the Hextech ultimatum on him, and Mordekaiser's like, okay, you're locked in here with me. Like you're not keeping me anywhere. You're keeping yourself here. And man, he proves it, dude. He has the damage to sustain, and man, he does a lot of work. Oh, Sykes! Oh! Unleashed power almost kills, but Sykes able to finish the job and remain alive. Ooh, little ocean fruits will help. Oh, he's gonna be locked down. Flash in from Kaisa, and Anchovy takes it. Now it's Lulu, kind of a little bit caught out. Anchovies, nice wild growth will save his life. And maybe we'll get out of this. Kaisa's going to ult in, though. He continues to pressure. And now Gumayushi's on the wrong side of this fight.
No Flash.
He's stuck between with a lot. Flash in, Patty, going to crash down, going to go wide. Gumayushi tries to step out of it, but finds himself a Kaisa with a Cathian Rain. And it is over for the spotlight.
And if you're Iceborn White, this is exactly what you need. Otherwise, this game seems completely doomed for you. Your solos at this point are struggling in the 1v1s, let alone having the Xin hover in towards that top or that mid side. So you need your bot side to get that much more accelerated. And at this point, Humphreys has done such a good job. He's now 3-0-3. They're pressuring for this turret. I don't think that they'll get the first turret with this good rotation here coming in from the Mordekaiser. But nevertheless, that Kaisa is off to the races. She's going to be extremely strong. Feels like the Jinx Lulu lane just wasn't able to do too much, especially after that level 2 death there from Patty, just recognizing that he had the flash. He was able to go for it, pulled trigger, and they got that kill. And you kind of see the fruits of their labor being established here now. And lots of priority being set up towards the spot side. They really want this turret, coach. They really want it.
I mean, and you could just see how much damage Kaisa was able to do with Mordekaiser under his own turret. And Mordekai's are looking very strong. It's just the poke that Kai'Sa's able to produce from outside your screen is amazing. But Stun's going to buy back something here. They're going to look to get that tower. But here we go. Magnetic Storm going to be dropped. That's that. I can't even say anything because they're trying to. Stun Gaming is turning it on its head right now. That's 2 kills under this Jinx. She's excited, and that is a fight you have to lead. Because I argue that one of the strongest passive in the game is the get excited passive. I think that Jinx is just so strong when she pops one person gets an assist. It's so good. Mordekaiser though finds a nice pull there onto Camille. Nice.
Wow.
X-Tech ultimatum shreds the team apart, but it's not going to save his life any quicker as just so much damage comes through. Wild Growth is dropped on the Mordekaiser, and he's just able to survive anything. Shockwave going to go down, finds one. Oh my god, Patty's trying to save it. Kai'Sa's taken down. That's the main damage source down. Mordekaiser. The shield!
Oh, he lives!
The shield! Barely coming through. Super Mega Death Rocket going to land, and that's another one for Stun Gaming. And man, a game that looks so good for Iceborn goes south after just one fight there. And Stun Gaming looking at over a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, they just recognize that map state really well. We had Cinder pathing towards bot to try to net that turret. And at the end of the day, we still do see it going down there. Iceborn White does grab that tier 1 bot, but in the process, the Rift Herald's going to be dropped. They're going to net tier 1, tier 2, and basically tier 3 off just a bit of an overextension, I'd say, and in one death. Actually, the Mordekaiser didn't even die, did he, Coach?
No,
the man lived, so they did all right off that.
He got out, dude. The Lulu shield saved his life.
That's
but
right.
He was within 100 health for sure. He was so close to dying.
That was very close. But at the end of the day, he doesn't. So those 2 turrets go down, and that's definitely a trade up right now. But equally so, you want to be playing for this dragon, and I think both teams recognize this right now. I think equally so, Iceborn is playing accordingly. They should just be splitting the map, cross mapping. I don't think they're as strong right now at this point, especially with all the gold that was just spent there from the side of blue. So setting up towards his top turret, and Syke definitely sees this. He knows.
Oh yeah, I think this is a point where Iceborn just needs to prioritize and cut their losses and just gain back as much gold as possible. And you can see Anchovy taking the jungle from Stun, and they get that top tower. That's a lot of gold, and they've already swung back already a whole 1,000 gold, and now they brought that lead under 2,000.
That's right. We could really start to see how both teams decide to play this map. Obviously, we see Iceborn playing towards topside. Equally so, that means your whole bot side quadrant is completely available here. And that's what we're seeing. This Mordekaiser getting that turret, equalizing the trade across the board right now. And at this point right now, really it's just blow for blow. And that gold lead is still mounting, right? We're right around that 3.5, that 4K mark for the side of blues. So Stun Gaming Mythos is looking good right now off the back of their solos.
Absolutely. If I'm Iceborn right now, I'm shaking in my boots. They're knocking on your inhibitor tower in just 18 minutes. That is a dangerous time. Nice ultimate from Sejuani. Huge CC chain there, and Lulu is caught out. However, Stun Game not going to back away from this one. It looks like they called in a teleport. Sykes is in. Looking for Shockwave. Magnetic Storm is going to lock him down. Huge damage from Unleashed Power. He's going to go down. Looks like this is the fight to turn. Mordekaiser is here onto the back line. Goes Zinzao, though. Humphreys is doing what he can. He finds a kill on Gunuichi. He is going to be taken low. He's going to be taken down. Mordekaiser brings Sunji into the Death Realm, and that is a 1v1 there.
So CG, if he can stall.
If he kills Camille, this is so winnable. Well, Mordekaiser, nice shield. May get out alive, nice stun, but the follow-up from his team, can they get the kill? Mordekaiser is just walking at them. The kill is under him.
Okay.
Oh, that was so close. Mordekaiser had the angle, and it was so close to a 1v1, or so close to a win fight for Mordekaiser. But ultimately, Iceborn able to stay on top of things.
Yeah, and so CG on that Camille does net down that shutdown, so that's going to be an extra 600 gold going to that Camille. And there's no doubt you needed that at this point right now.
Absolutely.
Basically feels like you're trying to ball in a budget with the Triforce just being completed, your 2 long swords. When you look on the opposite side and you see Rylai's and Riftmaker, it's scary. It's still scary, but at the end of the day though, that was a beautiful pick coming in on Galaxis on the Lulu, and just a little bit overextended without the right vision there, and the Sejar comes in and the rest of the CC follows through, and that's what you can really see coming through from the side of Iceborn White's like team comp, and it's good. It's great execution from them, and they needed that.
Absolutely. I mean, she needed that Triforce real bad. I mean, it looked like she was almost 2 items down on Mordekaiser, and you never like to see it. I mean, looking at the gold lead, Mordekaiser is basically the entirety of the gold lead for a Sun Gaming. I mean, he's already 3K up. Here he goes. Nice crash down on the Hyper Dragon. He pops the Grand Challenge, Wild Growth as well. Kaisa has an angle in, but I don't think it's the right one. I think she's going to back off his fight. Nice stun. But again, that was just a little bit of a slap fight, and both teams choose to disengage.
That's right. A couple ultimates being burned, though. We do have the Wild Growth and the Zen are being burned in that process. And Zen without his ultimate, that Crescent Guard, really becomes that much harder a champion to play. You just don't have that zoning power that you'd normally have, especially against a champion like Syndra or the Kaisa when you're trying to land the long-range damage. So Zen has to be a lot more careful now. Well, that's right. And you can see each time that it lands, it just chunks that much more. So.
Dude, I do not know why I always call Zen Ultimate Grand Challenge. I know that's Fiora's Ultimate. I know that. I
looked at it. I cheated.
You cheated. Ooh, nice root there on the Patty. Patty's going to take some damage, but honestly, right now it's just, both teams are kind of looking towards Baron. I don't know. This fight could go either way, but it looks like the Iceborn people are going to start up Baron, which means they're going to start with control, and they're going to force stuns to come to them. That means they're pretty popular. Their fight over the wall. Magnetic Storm. Gumyushi's the one who gets caught out, followed by a huge amount of CC. Humphreys tries to do what he can. Mordekaiser finds a return kill. It is not looking good. Hextech Ultimatum on Sykes, followed by a huge shockwave. Good damage across the board. They could turn this fight. Anchovy is going to go down.
Oh, the Wild Growth.
And holy, what a fight. Stun brings the fight to Iceborn.
Oh my goodness.
What a dodge. What a dodge. Humphrey and Patty still alive. If anybody can win before this, it is these two. Albert, I don't think that's going to happen. Nice crash down, but going to get caught out. And Humphreys is still alive.
Now the question is, do you play for this Baron? Obviously those timers are favorable. The TPs aren't around for the side of Iceborn White either, so this to me seems like a free Baron. You are going to see Humphrey stick around though. He definitely doesn't want to give this up without
that W fight. Is lethal. Do they have their?
And there it is right there.
Jungle?
They do. Slowly chipping away.
I mean, we saw
the damage just isn't there though.
This like several times 3 years ago. I'm sure Kaisa can make this happen, right?
I mean, while the rest of the team's coming here too, they have to be careful. Beautiful Void Seeker to net that Lulu on the side. This is gonna be a flip. Shot. This is a flip.
Entry over the wall. Nice stun is gonna lock him down. Death Realm's gonna bring the jungler there though. This is gonna go down. Blue team does secure it. Nice smite there from Hyper Dragon, followed by a beautiful shockwave. He finds one. Camille is down. Unleashed power gonna go on Hyper Dragon. Hyper Dragon does barely live as Syndra now gets walked down, and it is again Kaisa and Rel remaining. And man. Stunned looks dominant again.
That was scary. That was very, very scary. And I thought that they could do the Baron. And honestly, they could. The only problem was they didn't quite have the damage that I think they thought they had, especially with that Mordekaiser, with that burn coming through. But it took a long time to kill that Baron. And by that point, the Sejuani was already in the pit. You're flipping the Baron. But fortunately enough, Hyper Dragon has a beautiful smite there. Just nets that, secures it, and then they end up cleaning them up once again. Another 3 go down. And like you said, a little bit of deja vu. That Kaisa and Rel are the only 2 left.
Absolutely, and I got to give credit to Mordekaiser. As soon as Sej was over the wall, that death round came through, and he's like, not a smite fight anymore. He took away the smite fight, and I think that honestly helped his secure that dragon a huge amount.
Yeah, for sure. And at this point right now, we can really start to see this setup coming through. That's Mordekaiser. This 1v1 could go in the favor of Kaisa.
I agree. He does have the shield, though. Passive is procced. Flash into the obliterate. Oh, it's close.
Beautiful.
But not close enough. And that is a 10-in-1 Mordekaiser, folks. Holy.
That is a scary piece of metal.
Yeah, exactly.
That is terrifying. I don't know. Especially when Flash is being burned there. Humphrey's not having that Flash is going to be so crucial for these next fights. And off the back of that 1v1, we can see this tier 2 and bot going down. That's a nice 700 gold spread among the 4 members. And see maybe a bit of an overextension here. We'll have to see. Beautiful shockwave though.
Shockwave followed by Metallic Storm. Or Magnetic Storm, sorry. I keep on calling it Metallic Storm. But yeah, it just nothing happens of it. And now they're just short some ultimates and some huge CC.
The TP is coming through here. We do actually see this from Psych Gems. They want to contest this, but no Orianna Shockwave. I still feel like they need to be a little bit careful here.
I agree completely. The confidence can kill. So got to be very, very careful here. It is currently a 4 versus 5. Mordekaiser's going to try to walk in this top lane.
That's right. Time's on your side right now. This tier 2 bot and top is now going to go.
Both sides. And honestly, it is so close right now. Well, actually not close. I should say they're looking at just under a 10,000 gold lead for the side of Stun. Nice stun though, followed up on the Hyper Dragon. Hyper Dragon is taken really low. Camille doing what he can to mitigate losses here in the top lane. Nice pull from Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser's going to go for it. Nice stun, hook shot. And Mordekaiser's going to be forced to walk away. He's going to protect that cannon minion because that's going to continue to do damage on this turret, and Camille will have to walk up if she wants to do something about it.
That's right. And they're not getting much from this 4 stack, but the 1 stack they are so close.
So good. Sejuani Bola going to go through. Nice damage. A Metallic Storm going to be dropped, but Gumayushi's going to find the first kill in that fight with Super Mega Death Rocket. And now they're going to wait possibly to look to wear out this Get Excited passive. It is worn off by now. But Mordekaiser going to walk.
And they're going to trade 1-for-1 in this bot side here. Still not getting much when it comes to this turret here, but top side, that 1v1, that Mordekaiser's just unmatched, and the damage is coming in.
Low though. Geist is going to be brought in. Wild Growth going to knock up Humphreys. Humphreys is going to be taken very low, and he's out of this fight. Anchovy now going to be checked on the wrong side of the chain chomps, and Mordekaiser is just walking in the base. Camille cannot do much here. Syndra's showing up to help, but you're leaving the rest of the team. As Mordekaiser now going to go Death Realm on the Syndra. Syndra, yeah, she's just going to get obliterated. Oh, yeah, it's gone. There's nothing they could do. That inhibitor's going to fall. This is where Stun Gaming ends it. If Iceborn doesn't have any responses to them, it's just over. Nice pull. Rel going to try to Hextech Ultimatum going to be dropped on the Psych, but it's just not enough. As Patty's the last one remaining. Super Mega Death Rocket, Magnetic Storm dropped, but again, just not enough. And onto the backline goes Humphreys. He does some damage. Huge damage. What is going on? Anchovy going to turn on the Psych. Can he get the kill on the Psych? Wild Growth going to save. Anchovy goes down. That's another kill for this Mordekaiser. And that is going to be the end of game number 1.
Oh, they're just having a little fun with it, aren't they, there at the end? Yeah, I mean, you got to hand it to that game to me was all over the place, right? You had the solos doing so good for the side of blue. Like at the end of the day, you had that Mordekaiser constantly soloing, and if I have to pick an MVP, hate to be the spoil breaker here or whatever you want to say, but I think it's gonna have to go to Mordekaiser there. Like sending and winning there on that guy just absolutely popped off. He was everything the team needed to be and more. The question really became like, what were you able to do on the opposite side of the map? And like the answer is like, you can get your Kai'Sa really ahead, like you're going to be 3-0-3, but what are you able to get off of that? And at the end of the day, it really did just seem like the solos came out that much more clutch as opposed to the bot lane. And no fault of Humphreys or Patty at all on that bot side. I think they did as good as they could given the circumstances. But lots to say about that one.
There is a lot to say about that one. It was a really good match. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the next one. Iceborn definitely seemed like they had the bull by the horns there for a few seconds. And honestly, it's just a shame that it didn't really work out for them. Let me see. I gotta remember the buttons I gotta push. But I guess we're gonna take a quick break between now and next game. So make sure you stay tuned. Stun Gaming goes up 1-0 on Iceborn White. We'll see you soon.
We'll be right back.
Okay, I think we should be back.
We live?
I think we're live.
We
I don't know if
recording?
they can actually hear us during the transition, but if they can, we're back. Welcome back,
Yep.
everyone.
If not, now we're back.
Yeah, we should be back now.
That's
but
right.
yeah, welcome to game 2 draft here. I love how we. Never mind. We're all good. Everything's good. Cool.
I think
Everything
so.
is good. So
It looks like the sides are going to remain the same here too. So no
Yeah,
side swap here at all. Iceborn more than happy just to keep this red side here, and they're actually nab up this in. And I was wondering if the Draven would come out tonight, especially with that first big jinx. Stun Gaming Mythos isn't going to want to change anything here for their B1, so we'll see what they do for B2, B3 here. Obviously, they won't have that Xin Zhao option here.
right.
The Braum.
The Braum pick, Braum Jinx, opting off of the Lulu. Interesting.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of Braum. I think Braum is very good. And I think that's a fantastic choice for a stun.
Yeah, Braum is good, but he does have some serious counters, so this does open up a Rakan angle if they do want to grab an Iceborn. That could be a decent R3 for them, but there's a couple other pairings that do well. Braum is good, 100%.
J4.
The J4 and Braum to me just don't quite have the same synergy as something like a Nautilus J4, or Rel J4, Leona J4. Not to say that the Braum is bad by any means, but we'll have to see what Iceborn decide to do, how they want to adapt. So it looks like they're going to end up picking up the Thresh here, or at least hovering it.
The Thresh angle, I'm not opposed to that, actually. I think Thresh is not that bad. Soraka, though.
Mm-hmm.
Soraka's kind of one of those champions that's kind of it's good, but I feel like, it's only good. Oh, my.
Wow.
Alistar pick.
Interesting.
I love Alistar. I think it's a fantastic choice.
So they're going to pick, that's right, they're going to pick the alley right into the Braum, which they don't mind. In isolation too, the Alistar tends to do. Not that good into the Braum, but that shouldn't matter too much at all. You still have the Draven on your side, so that 2v2 bot is still there. But that Braum pick turns out to be really good here for the side of Stun Gaming Mythos so far.
Yeah, I'm liking it. I think this is going to be a spicy game. This is definitely going to be a spicy game. I'm excited.
Yeah, you want to see now here for the phase 2 especially from blue side Stun Gaming Mythos, you really want to see some more engage coming through. This Jarvan going in alone feels really, really bad. So you want to be able to pair that up with something else that can dive into. So depending on what Iceborn pick, I know that Galio is quite strong in this meta. So if another control mage or something like that does come through, the option for the J4 Galio could very well be there. But both control mages are banned here. So Syndra, Orianna, the two main prio mids as far as I know right now. But
are off the board. Yep,
that's right.
Alawi's taken away from stunned or by stunned. Alawi, pretty strong top laner, one of those super tide-changing champions, I would say. I mean, it doesn't matter. I've seen 1 in 3 Alawis press R in a team fight and just watch the entire enemy team vanish. So, like, I think all around, I think that's a good ban. I don't know what their 5th ban is. Can you see what their 5th ban is?
I cannot. No.
That is a little odd.
No, I cannot see that.
LeBlanc being hovered.
Interesting. So this does open up a Lissandra angle if Stun Gaming Mythos does play it. That is definitely an option there.
We actually did just talk about this too, where LeBlanc was. We talked about how LeBlanc was like one of the few like burst mages mid laners that kind of survived this last patch. And honestly, I think it could work out. It's kind of up in the air, and like you said, I think the Lissandra would just kind of kill it here.
That's right. The real key to picking the LeBlanc is to make sure that you have a strong jungler, something that can facilitate that pick early on, and the Xin does work in that case. So that 2v2 mid lane is really strong right now. So you want to see them round out something. This to me seems like a great pick here. This Taliyah. So this Taliyah, the 2v2 mid, looks like both sides can match each other. That J4 Taliyah and that Xin LeBlanc. That's probably going to be where a lot of the impact, a lot of the prio happens in this game. That would be my guess, but mid bot. But there's a lot of volatility if they lock that Darius. There's a lot of it. That feels to me like if Iceborn lock this in, they need to win top, they need to win mid, and they need to win bot.
Yeah, I don't know. Malphite.
Okay.
I
like this so much more.
Yeah,
this to me is so much better for the team comp that they've drafted. That Draven needs to get ahead. The LeBlanc needs to get ahead. You can't play to all 3 lanes and try to do that. So now you can isolate. You can play around the Xin, the 2v2 prio that you have. Probably swing that LeBlanc. Play towards bot side. Try to impact that as much as you can and get this Draven ahead, because that's really what you need to do.
Absolutely. You know, I something we haven't mentioned or talked about yet is the Tony pickup. I'm a big fan of Tony. I think you know, he's played a lot in professional leagues, and he's honestly a really fun champion to watch played. And here, let's go to that scene so you guys can see Champion Select. But I think Tony, I guess we're not in Champion Select anymore. Well, they just decided to stop. Oh, somebody left the lobby.
Well, at least it's not us this time.
Love that for us.
Yeah, it's not us now. You can't blame us anymore. Well, I mean, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can still blame us for something if you want.
Oh wait, I see what happened. I see. I was in their team.
Oh my God! Why did I even talk?
No way, dude! I was about to play.
We're gonna get it. Oh, we're getting the gears. That's awesome.
That's funny. But you know, like I was saying, you know, Tony, very good top laner right now. I'm a big fan. I think his ultimate, the Dominus, can really turn fights, especially in those 1v1, 1v2 situations that that it seems that Stun was really struggling with in the early game and late game. But I think what really saved Stun last game is their ability to play as a team. You know, they were winning those team fights pretty dominantly, I felt, at least towards the end there. And you know, I think Tony is a good answer for those 1v or 1v1, 1v2 problems that they seem to have.
That's right. That Renekton, I think the Renekton does end up being a good pick. The only issue to me is whether or not you're actually able to start getting ahead. Like the Malphite itself tends to be a pretty good neutralizer, so early on the Renekton should be able to pressure that champion quite a bit. But as this game goes and progresses, that top side, you're going to start to see the value of that Renekton start to dwindle, while the value of that Malphite just continuously goes up and up and up. So the top side to me will be an interesting matchup, but again, like that to me won't be the pivotal point of like what decides this game to here. Really, it's going to be mid and bot. There's no question in my mind, and it's really what happens with both of these junglers. My anticipation is that both these junglers are going to start towards top and then path bot and probably look to do some sort of a 3 camper setup like that, because you really want to get this Draven ahead. And if you're stun gaming Mythos, you really want to make sure that the Draven does not get ahead. So being able to play around that is going to be super important, but to be able to make sure that you have that numbers advantage, the main thing that both teams are going to want to prioritize beforehand is going to be mid-prow. So how those teams decide to play around those two main win cons is really what you're going to see. And I think if Iceborn gets 1 kill, they're going to get 10. That would be my prediction here. The snowball opportunity potential with this team comp is there. You have a lot of skirmish power.
Absolutely, I agree completely. They do definitely have potential here, and I think I like your mid bot scenario. I think really the mid is like the main problem here. I think the bot lane, the only reason I say that is last game, now I was pretty confident that Iceborn bot lane was really going to come through for us. You know, push it, end it, but it did not happen. And it just seemed like those solo lanes were so much more stronger. And I think that, you know, it comes down to the J4 Talia versus the Zinzal LeBlanc angle. And both of these junglers are super aggressive, super fast. You know, they like to gank at level 3 kind of thing. Whereas, you know, and both of these champions, there's going to be a clash mid lane. Very, very quickly into this game, I think.
100%. Both mid laners are going to be playing for that prow as much as they can. And yeah, like you said, if both of these junglers want to get those ganks off, their first 2 clears, it's pretty much pivotal that you at least get 1 kill. At the very least, you want 1 kill within your first 2 clears. So the first 5 minutes, you need a first blood. Either side.
Absolutely. 100%. We're looking for early snowball from both of these teams. Something to start off early and just grow into late game. And it's the recovery from both these teams. I don't know. It could be really difficult for either team to snowball, really. But once one is snowballing, I think the game is over. Like, there's no coming back from it.
It seems difficult for sure. If you're stun gaming, like the only real engage that you have, and I'm talking consistent engage, would probably be that Jarvan. So you have that, but the follow-up that comes through after would be a Talia like seismic shove. If Renekton's able to close gap, then of course you could find that stun, but you're really relying on that Jarvan to be able to set up and find those fights for you. If you're on the side of stun gaming Mythos, well, if you look on the opposite side, Iceborn, like, they have a lot of different ways to be able to pull trigger force fights. So really the only, whether it's pre-6 or after 6, especially with that Malphite R, Iceborn can kind of force the fights that they want to play too. So really it's about playing for the mid pile as much as you can. If you want to contest a neutral, you swing in and you get set up on that neutral first. If you're in river first, more than likely Iceborn, as long as you pull trigger first, you're going to end up coming out ahead. The question is what is Stun Gaming able to do in response, right? They did such a good job for game 1 playing around the map. So the question is, game 2, are you able to do the same thing, right? Are you okay giving up a dragon? Are you okay giving up 2 or 3, knowing that you can still cross map? You can play for mid, top side, void grubs, whatever it is. Are you able to do that, or do you falter and try to take a fight when you shouldn't?
Absolutely. Well, with that said, I think we're geared up and ready to go for a fantastic game number 2. So make sure you stay tuned for more action as Stun Gaming is up 1-0 on Iceborn White. We'll see you shortly.
See you soon.